This is Mark Anthony with Mercury Time Price Analytics, and this is a midday update on Tuesday, January 7th. We don't do a lot of midday updates. I wanted to do one today because what we're seeing today has potential implications for later into the week and beyond. Last night, our Mercury bands, which are our extended time period, algorithmic time price bands, we put these out in the evening. We give upper extensions and lower extensions, but the core of it is we have a upper level, a lower level, and two mid levels. We run these on a short cycle and a long cycle. And even the short cycle is many days. The long cycle is twice as long. So even on the short cycle, there's a lot of hours, days, weeks in these. I've never seen this kind of compression before. We had 6 of these 8 core pivots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 between the price of 32.24 and 32.37.62. When you think about how long these bands are, that is incredible compression, and it's no different than what you get in Bollinger Bands. And these are in no way related to Bollinger Bands, but metaphorically they're structured the same, in that you get an upper band and a lower band. It's just that we've got 2 mid bands instead of 1 on a Bollinger Band. But the metaphor pertains to this. On Bollinger Bands, when you go out to the longer cycles and the longer time frames, and you get compression in the bands, you know that you're going to get a big move one way or the other. You don't know which way, but you know something is coming. So the question is the next big move going to be higher or lower? Well, we had a couple of clues that it may be lower this morning. One of them is that our daily bull bear pivot has historically in this run been right in the middle of price congestion zones. Well, today it was up here near the highs. It's 32.44.53. Now that gave us a tip off that the direction may be down. The other thing that gave us an early tip off is these 2 white lines here. We've got our trend momentum trigger at 32.46.99 and our trend baseline, which came in almost at the same price, 32.44.53. These 2 little zones between the trend baseline and the trend momentum trigger, that is the early tug of war early in RTH. And what's interesting about it is that little zone there broke about an hour before RTH, and this Algo bull bear pivot, 32.44.53, which is just one single pivot, one inflection point for the whole day, those broke about an hour before we got into trading. Now, where did it come down to? It came down to 32.31, which is our trend change warning pivot. Now, when you come down into these trend change warning pivots, these algorithmic pivots, they very rarely going to break the first time through, because this is an important change of trend. So the trend is up, and when price comes down into these levels, there's support, and you get a move back up. Well, boy, did we ever get a move back up. And this is how precise these algos are. When we run these algos, they have to be run at a specific time. Now, let me be clear about that. The Mercury bands we run in the evening, those simply have to be based on RTH close data. Whether I run those at an hour after the close, 2 hours after the close, the data is the same. But the pivots that we put out for subscribers in the morning are Mercury dynamic pivots. These are really cool. If you know of any other system that does this, send me an email, markanthony@mercurysignals.com. Because what these pivots do is when we run these in the morning, they have to be run at a specific minute. That's how sensitive they are, or they're not going to be accurate. And what's cool about this algo is it creates not only the pivot, but the descriptive name. And that descriptive name, it defines the characteristic behavior at price when it gets down to it. So when price gets down to a trend warning change pivot, well, we're likely to see a bounce. And if you're reading this from top to bottom, these are the shorter time frames, longer time frames. So you've got 32.46, 44.39, and so on. And so when it breaks through these orange levels, and these are coded in orange because they bear a mathematical similarity, important similarity to one another. So when you come down and price doesn't bounce at the reflex pivot, and it goes through a trend confirmation pivot and through a backtest pivot and comes down into this warning pivot, well, then these previous short-term trend pivots turn from support to resistance. And we can see that on the chart. So we went back up, had a little bit of a pause at the trend confirmation pivot. Ultimately, it went right back to the tick to our bull bear line. Now this bull bear line, it's a single level, and we put this out several hours. We don't distribute it several hours. We calculate it several hours before the market is open. We distribute it about an hour, hour and a half before the RTH opened to our subscribers. And we got this move exactly back to the tick, and then it rejected hard. If you look at this more granularly, you got a hard rejection here, 32.40, 453, all the way back down into the back test pivot, and now it's bouncing up and down. So these pivots will go from support to resistance and back again. Now, we've got an acceleration pivot here at 32.36. That breaks again. This back test pivot is not going to hold. You're going to get a move down here. Now, then it becomes interesting because we've got three pivots right in this area between 32.31 and 32.33. We've got the trend change warning pivot, we've got the tick acceleration pivot, and we've also got the multi-day trend long cycle. And this morning when we were running these pivots, this level right here jumped out at me. And there it is, multi-day trend long cycle 32.53, because it doesn't matter what you're trading. It can be ES, NQ, any stock. There's a magnetism about the 32 to 33 handle. If you take graph paper and start at the bottom, number sequentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 100, arguably the 32, 33 level handle is the most important, because if price is coming up to a 33 and it goes through, well, you're going to get 50. And if you get over 50, then it's going to, and then there's more to it than that. But the 32, 33 is the gateway to 50. And on the way down, it's the gateway to 22, 17, and 18. And after that, 12, 8, 2, 3. And so it doesn't matter what you're trading. The end of that handle, and if you're talking about NQ, it's the last two digits. 32.33 is the most important thing, and the fact that this is a long cycle trend indicator. So you break that and sustain price below it, then we're going to go lower. It doesn't mean that that's the end of this bull run. It just means in the short term, if this 32.53 breaks, then the bulls have all kinds of problems, and they have controlled this market without a doubt for quite a while. So I wanted to do this midday update because I thought it was noteworthy that ES was trading below the daily bull bear pivot an hour before the market opened. That gave us this fast move down. We got this rejection right back up to the tick, to the daily bull bear pivot. And now we're caught in this little congestion zone. And if this resolves down, then you're likely to get a break here. And we're going to have to see. This afternoon is going to be very, very interesting. If you haven't been to our website before, it's mercurysignals.com, mercurysignals.com. If you want to sign up for a free webinar, just click the webinar menu item at the top of the page. We've got one coming tomorrow, as a matter of fact, January 8th, 8 p.m. The webinars are free. We go into a lot of detail, typically 45 minutes to an hour, tell you everything you could possibly want to know about our system, see if you want to test drive it. We're running a special right now, 62% off the regular rates. You get a 7-day free trial. We do not bill you anything till after the free trial. And even at that point, we bill weekly, not monthly. So each week you're billed and you can cancel anytime. So if you don't like our service, you get a free 7-day trial. After that, you're week to week. If at any time you're not happy, you can cancel. Check back to our YouTube channel tonight for our end of the day video. I have a feeling we're going to get some interesting action in here into the end of the day. You break this 31, and then you're getting down into a price acceleration pivot at 27 with not a whole lot below it. And that will take you right down to that 22. Like I mentioned, 22 is an important number regardless of what you're trading, and down into this swing trend pivot, which currently is at 1915. And then after that, we've got some air. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope you're having a great day. God bless you. God bless your family. And we hope to see you real soon.